muted? Yeah, okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Jesus. So, went through my whole spiel pretty much already. Do I start over? What do I do? Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna have to here. So I was starting off by saying that Bitcoin, it was supposed to be a hedge against inflation, and it doesn't seem to be faring well. It seems to be following equities. I'm just going to kind of ramble through this. But it remains to be tested in a real recession, actually. So, it came about existence at the tail end of 2008 recession. So it's going to be curious to see what's going to happen with it in a real recession if this current economic situation leads to a real recession, which I am looking at this with a bearish lens right now because I think we're just seeing relief rallies across the board. I think people are a little exhausted right now, and I don't think we're going to be winding down too much. I think we're probably about 2/3 of the way there, maybe ish, on this downtrend. So we'll see what's going on. But I was curious to know, when a real recession occurs, a lot of people try to move their funds into something more, I guess, real, like a gold or a silver. And I'm wondering if Bitcoin is going to fall into that kind of category. But remains to be seen how this economic situation kind of plays out realistically. Like, when you look around, the economy doesn't seem that bad. Like, things are moving. There's continued growth. I see job postings everywhere. It's just like, how is this happening? And the economy appears so strong. I don't exactly understand. So maybe that follows what we're experiencing right now. To be honest, in 2008, I was too young to kind of pay attention to this chain of events that happens. Bitcoin, though, I mean, we did get a nice break, a nice little relief rally. Still looking at this with the bearish lens, but, we were looking back in history at some of the the closest important level, and you had a test right here, I guess. And it touched around this line, played with it a couple times in the past. So that was the closest one we were seeing, actually. And another one right here. And that was around 32,000. So a continuation above 32,000 would be fantastic, especially if you see either a back test or just blow right past it. Be good to see. But it just screams like a relief rally to me. And then I'm going to spare you. So if you're just tuning in, my mic wasn't working. I kind of went through a couple of these, but it's pretty much looking at the same chart, just on a different coin, right? Because everything's kind of following the macro. A couple of the ones we didn't see following the macro, one of them was Tron. And we pointed this out last week, Monday, I think it was last week, Monday, when I did the last live stream. Just bucking the trend. Like, I have no explanation for what the hell is going on with Tron. Like, maybe there's something fundamentally that's going on with Tron, or maybe it's just, I really don't have an answer for it, but it's looking like a pretty bullish chart. Like, I would love to see it break above 8 cents, that local high right there. If it continues and shows strength out of there, it's looking really good. And especially if you see it break above 9 cents. I mean, that's the most recent highest high. The most recent highest high. But you can see you just got a continued uptrend, continued higher lows, some higher highs thrown into that mix, and it's completely bucking the trend. Like, I don't know what about it is showing so much strength in this downtrend, but it's one of those ones where it's like, hey, you got to take note of things like that, right? BNB was the other one we looked at last week because it was showing that it was more bullish than the others. You were getting those higher lows a lot quicker on BNB, and it was showing that it was kind of bullish. And I think a lot of that has to do with the actual use case situation. Like there's a lot of DeFi that still goes on in BNB and things like Matic as well. So I think it's a fair amount of use case. BNB in general has always been a pretty strong coin, but not looking as bullish as it did the other day. Well, that's not bad. You're still getting higher lows. So as long as you continue that and you don't make a lower low, I think we're on the right track, especially if you get a nice little break above, what is this line at? $337, almost $338. That'd be a nice sight to see. Breaking above your local high there. And then one other one we were noting this week was XLM, which looked more bullish than a lot of the other ones. It looks like it's following the macro a little closer, if not a little more extended, right? So looking very good on XLM for a nice little relief rally. I always take a look at Theta because that is one of my personal bags, right? Like it's one that I fundamentally believe in. So I always kind of take a look at it, following the macro pretty close, just like everything else. And one of the things I note is how much is locked up. And currently there's 63% of Theta is locked up. So I'm commenting saying that maybe it's going to be harder to push this price down because it's pretty much remained constant. Like even throughout all this, it's been in the like 60%. One of the things we look for when we look into the past data is I like to see these consolidation patterns right here where it starts to bowl out. That's a nice little pattern for me. And I like to mark the highest high in that situation and just take a look where that is and extrapolate that into the future. So you can see it was resistance at 82 cents, 82.5 cents here. It touched multiple times, then it broke and never came back. So I think that is kind of like the line in the sand. Like I don't think you're going to go lower than that. If you did, I think 56 cents would be a good consolidation point and resting point to like hey, the bottom of the market fell out. I don't think you're going to 56 or below. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So all these other ones were kind of following the macro. Ethereum is like token I'm waiting to buy into some more. Again, just kind of hanging out waiting though. I don't want to be too early to be buying this dip because I think we still have a significant dip to incur, right? Granted, these are pretty significantly lower levels than the all-time highs, and that should be less of a risky entry. But I just think we still got more downside coming, so. One of the reasons I'm looking for Ethereum, especially though, is because they're having their merge to their proof of stake as well as a halvening that's supposed to be a pretty significant supply cut. Plus they are, I think, one of the most used cryptocurrencies, so it's always a good thing. MXE was another one that was bucking the trend. You still had a significant pullback. But we were looking at it previously back, I don't know, for a while. Just because these higher lows, this chart was looking bullish as hell. And you had a nice consolidation pattern forming up, but it just turned for the worst. So, not looking too bad, not looking too good. You're getting higher lows, which you'd like to see, and you're in somewhat of a breakout territory. You get above 8 cents and you're there, and you can see it's got some significant weight to that 8 cents mark ish. You know, there's previous previous support here, previous playing in that area right here. You know, it was resistance here. It came back, tested it as support 2 times. So I think there's weight in that 8 cents level for MXC. All right. Now let's take a look at some stocks real quick. Some stonks. I'm just gonna do a couple. If you got any you want me to look at, let me know. Amazon one I bought because I've been in it for a long time actually, and I bought some on this dip, thinking we were gonna be buying the dip and maybe we're gonna, you know, pick things back up. But then it just kind of collapsed on me. So there is a stock split coming up for Amazon, which is something that I feel like it attracts a lot of retail investors, but I don't think it's going to fare as well in a recession as well, especially with the news of all the union stuff and all that stuff. So I think we're just seeing a nice little relief pump on a lot of stocks right now, and that's kind of the case. I'm still looking bullish, or I mean bearish, sorry. Like to see it break 2500, 29-ish. You see that? I mean, and it's showing a lot of strength to me. I've never seen an S on the charts. What's an S? Oh, split. Okay. So that is coming June 6th. So there's a 20-to-1 split coming for Amazon. So current price is 2404 divided by 20. So it'll drop it down to 120 bucks. That is significant split. And I think it's a real low level for retail investors to get involved. Buying at $2,000 for someone that makes just fair wage is probably pretty significant when you look at the amount of people that don't even have $500 in their bank account. $100, that's more doable for those people that use Robinhood and stuff like that, right? Okay, a couple more. If you want me to look at anything, let me know. This was a fertilizer play that I got into probably around 44, I think, was the entry I got, which was a good entry. I don't look how the chart's looking. It's looking very toppy to me. You kind of got a scuffed head and shoulders, but I still have faith in the fertilizer market. I don't think the world wants to use Russian products, right? And Russia is one of the biggest fertilizer producers. So this is a local one. US and a fertilizer company. So that was my play there. Pure Energy Minerals. This is a lithium play I was in for a while. T-Mobile looking very bullish considering the macro, right? Like, look at this chart. You got higher highs. You had a gap on this. So you get a nice little break above this level right here. What are we looking at? Which we're almost at 135.15. And look at previous resistance again. Previous resistance-ish. I'm gonna call it close enough. And then you back test it right here. So this is looking super good, especially considering the macro, right? So you see a nice little break above this. This is one that I want to, I'm already in it, but I might look to add on potentially. Chili's, that's a crypto. XRP, let's take a look here. So we were looking back here. This was going to be super bullish chart. Turned to shit following the macro. One of these was a stock too. Yeah, this was one where we were getting a lot of insider buying. But the floor keeps falling out on it. So not seeing much of anything going on there. Yeah, nice ABC correction. but it's continuing to correct. Then this was one we were also looking at. My buddy was pointing out you had, let's see if I can get out of this, go to the monthly or something. You had, this almost looks like a freaking textbook Elliott wave pattern to me. I'm not like super great at pointing out the Elliott waves, right? Like I'm not good at that. Because I think they're so like subjective. Like you could draw these any fucking way you really wanted to, right? But you had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave, and you had a real deep A, B, C correction, and now it's showing it's like consolidating for whatever seems like forever now, but that's just because it's a stock. And I have an alert set up for $12.11 because I want to see it break these highs. If it starts breaking higher, looking really good on this one. And this is a oil pipeline company, so looking good on that. Still valid. I think that's all I would take a look at. There's something I was seeing here. I can't remember. There was something else I wanted to look at real quick. Yeah, that's all for tonight. So take care. Don't forget to join on the Discord if you get down on Discord. Till next time. Later. That outro. It's not right.